initiates it, he retaliates it. You start the fight, he responds to the fight. You lose the fight, he gets arrested because you clearly lost the fight, or you say you lost the fight. It's happened plenty of times.
Yeah.
The studies show this not my opinion. Just this not anecdotal. I can offer anecdotal evidence, but the studies show that women initiate nearly half, put that in a 10% range. Let's say it's more than a third. More than a third of most domestic violence incidents.
So then, who initiates the other half?
Well, that means the math would be, women are doing a third, that means math would be the other 2/3. But wrong is wrong. It don't matter if 2/3.
So what difference
Hold
hold
on.
Everybody's doing it to each other.
No, it's not everybody doing. Abusers are abusers, whether they male or female, Mo.
Yeah.
But the point being, when we are looking at domestic violence incidents, right? Women are initiating a significant portion of them. So we can't sit here and act like every female. Hold on. Let me finish my sentiment, please. All I'm saying is we can't sit here and act like every woman is a lady, because a lot of these women, especially in these, according to the studies, are out here initiating violence. And if you initiate violence against a police officer, he's not going to say, "Oh, you're a woman. I can't use any. I have to be delicate." I know people in law.
But go ahead.
That's not true. You can't. You once again, now you're objectifying all cops. I've seen cops shoot a white lady. I got video footage of this.
I've seen plenty of them get away with shit.
Alright, but that's irrelevant. The point being, you just said if you're white, they won't do it. But I'm telling you, there's plenty of data that shows that they are messing white people up too. We understand that racism. I'm not saying that racism does not occur. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, don't act like they not up here slamming white women too. White women getting slammed and hemmed up too. Period, across the board in this country, men are doing women dirty. And it might even be a global thing, right? But whether you're a cop or whatever case, men do women, but men do smaller men dirty. It's a power thing. Those with the power and the resources, what? Those with the power and resources exploit those without power and resources. I got power and resources. You do so to me, I got the right to defend myself. I know that's what you was laughing at, right? But once again, I got the right to defend myself.
Coming back to the short men, it's like, why?
But because we would talk about the argument that people say, a man should never hit a woman, stems from the point where people justify that statement coming from a point where a woman is smaller and weaker, right?
Joe.
Well, that's where it comes from, right?
Yes.
But men have been doing women dirty. Listen, I'm not advocating for abusers at all, but I'm not advocating for no abusers. I don't care if they're male. I don't care if they're female. I don't care if they're white. I don't care if they're black, green, 12, 30. Nobody needs to be victimized. Everybody got the right to defend themselves. So if you hit me in my head with a hammer, and I'm saying that off the strip, I know somebody got hit in their head with a hammer, I got the right to punch you in your face as hard as I want to, because you could have killed me.
Absolutely, that makes sense, and I agree with that. This is how I'm hearing it, because number one, I am a woman, right? So I'm naturally going to be biased because I'm a woman and I advocate for the safety of women, right? So when you say 40%, nearly half of domestic violence cases are initiated by women, what I'm hearing is men that whooped on a woman, half of those women initiated that ass whooping on herself.
Well, they not always ass whoopings. Sometimes it's women who can get the best of a dude. But yeah, all I'm saying is
that's how I hear it. And then when you couple that with the fact that one woman in the United States is murdered every 5 hours, domestic violence. Every 5 hours, somebody has died today in the United States from her man who she didn't have a restraining order on, or not, or what she went back to. But
and I'm not dismissing the validity in that. Yeah, that's tragic too. I'm not taking nothing away from that. I don't disagree. That's an issue. That too is an issue.
I don't think we can say, okay, well, she didn't deserve her life to be taken. You know, half of those women who may have initiated or may have said something crazy or whatever didn't deserve for their life.
No. See, you're conflating two separate issues.
But that's how I'm hearing it.
But that's how you're choosing to hear it. Because you're conflating something that I didn't even say. You bringing that into the mix. I didn't say that. So listen to what I'm saying is all I'm asking you. Once again, your concern is valid. All I'm saying is that nearly half, according to the studies, indicate nearly half of domestic violence incidents in the United States are initiated by women. It might have been the Western culture, but I know it was the United States. Nearly half of them initiated. And that's not verbal, that's physical. Women are initiated. You see, there's so many videos that we've seen. Remember the dude you know what an 8-ball jacket is? It's a leather jacket. It had an 8 ball from a pool table. It's mad colorful. It's a tall, light-skinned dude on the train. This is a decade ago. He was arguing with girls. He said something to her. She got mad. She slapped him, and they started jumping him, and then he slapped the hell out of him. He never touched them girls before they jumped on him. All was a verbal altercation, but you made it physical. That man had a right to defend himself. But those same girls, if they did that publicly to that man, you think they wouldn't do that to a man in a house? There's another one where there's a bus driver, where the girl comes onto the bus and she's attacking the bus driver. He's like, "Oh, you done messed up now. You going to hell." And he uppercuts. You know what I'm talking about.
I bring my granddaughter up there. Okay, well bring him, nigga. Bring your mammy up here, bitch, and I'll be her ass too. Oh shit. Nigga, I dog that house too, nigga. Look like somebody done slice your face up. Oh, you motherfucker. Your face up. Bitch, somebody. Oh! You going to jail now? Okay, what's up, nigga? You going to jail now? What's up, nigga? You going to jail?
He uppercuts the hell out of her. And some people might say he shouldn't have done that. He's a man. I say he was in his right to defend himself. And you can't lend
every strength.
It don't matter. It don't matter. If it was a male that was the same size, that same strength, he would have been right to punch him in the face the same way. Nobody has to be a victim of nobody else. Everybody has a right to defend themselves, and you get to utilize and exercise whatever amount of force you need to exercise to get that threat off of you. The same thing with firearms. That's like when people say you should have only shot him once. No, I had to shoot him 6 times to neutralize the threat because he's 240 pounds. And he's 5'9". And one shot wasn't going to drop him. I had to make sure he couldn't get to me and take this gun. That's the reality. Is why cops shoot people more than one time. So you're sitting here saying just because somebody
for the cops now because you got.
I'm advocating for. I'm just telling you what the laws are, and these are discussions that people are unaware of. I think if people had more awareness of, you're in the forum with us. There are law enforcement officers in that forum. We can have this discussion with them. There are people who train heavily in that forum.
I learned and trained on use of force and all that stuff. I understand there's protocols and levels to shit. It's just. It's heavy.
In regards to what you say, all I'm saying is that nearly half of domestic violence incidents are initiated by women. So when you sit back and we want to protect people, what you're saying is men should be victims of attacks just because they're men, just because they might be stronger. But when
so that's valid because that's what you heard from what I said. But no, that's not what I meant at all.
So what did you say then?
I don't think that men should be victims. But I think the same thing goes for, men who engage and be with women who put their hands on them or have a tendency to be violent. Just like women should probably rethink those situations. Why are we staying in that shit?
So here, now this one I'm gonna chastise you. The average woman who is in a domestic violence relationship, it takes her 7 attempts to escape. Or get away from it. 7, I think, is the average. Right? I don't know if you're familiar with that stat. You can look it up.
No.
Yeah, it takes 7 efforts. You know how hard it is to escape that? So what makes you think there's gonna be 1 attempt? It's not like you could just make a decision and walk away. And depending on the dynamic, imagine how difficult it is for a woman who has kids when the man is the sole breadwinner. So it's harder for her. So what happens when the man has kids with this woman? He like, yo, I can't leave my kids with this crazy wench. You know what I'm saying? Or she about to try to rape my pockets or ruin my life for this, that, and third. You try to find ways to work it out. And then you go through that roller coaster of abuse or whatever, that cycle of abuse.
Yeah.
Like nobody should.
There's signs before you get to that point. But like, I mean, a lot of people are mature enough to think that far ahead. You know, they get caught up and next thing you know, you're married or you have kids and you feel trapped. And I understand that. But I think that's something we should discuss, is that we have to start doing that. When we meet people, you have to start looking at those signs, those red flags and those little cautionary things and those spidey sense and the hairs that make back of your neck stand up when you're dating somebody and they rub you the wrong way. You gotta just come back to that shit. Like, hold on, was that normal? I don't know if that's normal. That shit made me feel kind of weird. I should probably explore this more before I decide I'm sleeping with him or her raw. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So look, now that goes back to promiscuity. So why you being out here dealing with people? Because I used to tell my kids, my girls, my family, my household, you encounter monsters every day. Every day. You just don't realize it because they wearing masks. Some Scooby-Doo or the reverse Scooby-Doo thing. They got on human masks, but you don't see the evil that lies behind a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the wicked behaviors that they're capable of, or the wicked acts that they're capable of. But a lot of people are foul. A lot of people, like on a day-to-day basis, yo, you don't know how many killers you actually come across. You don't know how many pedophiles and rapists you actually come across on a day-to-day basis. The only reason a lot of people are safe is because we have laws in society. If it was anarchy, the purge, half of us would be making it, or we'd be a lot tougher. You were around some really foul people. Yeah.